Hi, welcome to the special edition of Education Matters as part of our Dialogue with Eighth Graders series, where we talk to eighth graders across the state about their experience in the last couple of years and about education in general. This session, we will be talking to students from the county of Sussex County at the top of New Jersey. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation, and let's get it started. You know, we've been doing this program for years now, but your 7th and 8th grade year is a little bit unique in that you had to deal with the pandemic. It wasn't the same as a lot of other previous classes. You may have been in school the whole time. You may have had virtual learning. So it's a little bit different, and you had social distancing to worry about. So during this time period, what is the one thing that you found challenging about dealing with the pandemic? Maybe something that you learned that you became better at, and also introduce yourself. So we're going to start with Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Seidock. I live in Hampton and I go to Kittatinny Regional High School. The toughest thing for me was probably the transition from in-person learning to remote, because I like being in a classroom with a bunch of people, and it was tough just being alone while learning. And I learned that the environment that you learn in really does affect your work, and it helped me change where I do my work and how I do it.
That's great, Katie. Perseverance. Nicholas, what about you?
Hi, I'm Nicholas. I'm from Montague Township School, and my hometown is Montague. I think the hardest thing for me was actually transitioning from virtual learning to in-school learning, because I actually transferred schools from 7th to 8th grade. So it's new school, a new environment, new teachers, new students, and it's just strange because you got to go back with everyone new that you've never seen before.
Wow. Okay, that's an experience. Grace, what about you?
Hi, I'm Grayson Solaco. I'm from Ogdensburg School and from Ogdensburg. I think the hardest part was definitely being alone all the time. I'm a very social person, so the isolation was very hard. It was funny because, lunch is usually the most loud time of the day. And during COVID, it was just me and my brother because my parents worked. And then it was silent because we had different lunch periods. So just kind of being alone all the time was really difficult for me.
Oh, I can imagine that. Megan, what about you?
I'd say that the hardest thing for me because of COVID was now on a lot of things. I know that there are a lot of things that would have happened in school that I would miss, or with just friends in general.
Okay. Emily, what about you?
Hi, my name is Emily Callie, and I go to Valley Road School in Stanhope. So one of the hardest things during COVID, obviously, was transitioning from in-person to virtual, but also kind of focusing at home, because when you're at home, there's a lot of other distractors around, especially in my house, because I have a lot of other siblings. So it's kind of hard to focus on just school when there's other stuff going on at home.
Lauren, what about you?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I go to Sussex Middle School, and I live in Sussex. The most difficult thing for me was adjusting to social life through a mask, but I learned a lot about myself through that time, as well as how to get through tough times.
Okay, I think we all did, or we probably didn't have a choice. Maureen, what about you?
Hi. Hi, my name's Maureen Lovett, and I go to Glen Meadow Middle School in Vernon. And then one of the toughest things for me was learning to use my computer every day and having to do math class on it, especially because I know writing everything down for math is a lot easier to show my teacher than having to type it out. And that was one of the hardest things for me, and I had to learn how to use my computer a lot better.
Okay, yeah, I think we all had to learn the technology a little bit better. So we discussed how you had to adapt, teachers had to adapt too, and your parents and everyone had to adapt. Was there a teacher during this time period or even before that really affected you as a student, who really made you a better student and made your educational experience better? Katie, we'll start with you again.
My current teacher has probably helped me the most because she really pushes me, and she's I feel like she's preparing me for high school more than any other teacher has, and she's also really helped my writing, and it's my writing's gotten better than I ever thought it would.
Okay, Nicholas, what about you?
I think my current English teacher, because he lets us have a say in what goes on in the classroom, Like we're doing creative writing right now and writing stories. And I love writing. And I think it's a good way to share your emotions and your thoughts, and just a healthy way to express yourself.
Grace, what about you?
I had a teacher I had in third grade, and then she moved up to the middle school math level. So I also had her in fifth and sixth and seventh grade, but I don't have her anymore. But she always made us feel like we could be the best version of ourselves. And she always helped us persevere, and she helped us learn through a very difficult time. And you could always tell that she was so excited to teach that it all made us excited to learn, even if it was virtually.
Okay, Megan, what about you?
I would say that the teacher that's helped me the most is my current English teacher, because she's very laid back, but is also like always helpful. And I know I can always rely on her for anything that I ever need.
Emily, what about you?
I said my current math teacher because my math teacher that I had in the previous years, the way she explained stuff, I wouldn't really understand it. But so my new teacher, she like helps me a lot more, and I'm less confused in math now.
Lauren, what about you?
I would say my current ELA teacher, because she strives to bring the best out of students, and she's strict but also knows how to have a good, healthy class environment, as well as she's very confident in herself, but she's also very humble, and all around she's just a really good person and teacher.
That's great. Maureen, what about you?
My last year math teacher, because she made the environment.
Hold on, Maureen. Yeah, okay, and talk a little louder. Oh, see, I didn't want to see, now it's on me. You clap and speak loud.
My seventh grade math teacher inspired me the most, really, because she made the environment so much more exciting while we could still learn, and she made sure to never leave anyone behind. So she would always ask, like, does everyone get it? And like, if you had a question, you were always able to ask her.
That's great. I recommend to everyone, when this video is done, share that with the teacher you talked about, so that they know that they had an influence on your educational experience. Now I'm going to ask you for advice, or if your principal or your superintendent or anyone in leadership came to you and said, how can we make our school better? What changes do you think would help most students? What would you say to that person, the principal or superintendent? Katie, what would you say?
I think that our school needs to add more like career-based electives, because we don't have a lot of options for electives. And I feel like the ones we do, they're not really common skills that you could build a career off of. And I think it would help for students to have like an elective that they're actually like interested in, and they might want to go into the future with that skill. So I just think we should add more electives that students would be interested in and could build a career off of.
Great, good idea. Nicholas, what about you?
I think something to help my school get better is to have certain groups in classes where kids maybe are struggling more, to help each other out. Like, because I'm very bad at math, so I think having a group of 2 or 3 kids is going to be helpful, especially with kids that aren't as confident in the subject. It's also hard when everyone else gets it and you're like the one kid that doesn't really understand. So I think that would be a lot helpful for certain kids.
Oh, good idea. Grace, what about you?
I think we could focus a little more energy on the students' mental health. We always talk about how we keep our bodies healthy, tools to make us stronger. We also have to talk about tools that can make our minds stronger, especially after a hard time like COVID. You know, we have to make sure that kids know it's okay to reach out when you're struggling, and kids know that you don't have to be diagnosed with a mental health disorder to reach out and have your feelings heard.
All right, Megan, what about you?
I would say something that could help is letting kids have more of, like, a choice in what's happening, because a lot of the times kids feel like they can't say anything because they don't have like almost a voice to be heard, but it'd be better if they could say what they need to.
Emily?
I said having more like sports team options, because my school, there's only like 2 sports open for kids, and that's not like a wide variety. And if there are more, it could like unite more students and make them more happy.
Lauren?
I would say more hands-on and like group activities because a lot of things, especially since COVID, it's digital and you don't really get a lot of interaction with your teacher. So I definitely miss that. I think that would make it better.
Okay, and last but not least, Maureen.
Um, I think that we could like add like an enrichment or like a study hall because I know a lot of kids like now with sports and everything like fall behind in homework and stuff. So if they could do it in school or like if they have a question for a teacher before like a test or quiz, they could go and like talk to them. Like adding an enrichment would help.
Okay, thank you. I loved all your ideas. They're all a little bit different, but there were some similarities too. I like that. Um, you all seem to want more choice. Okay, the last question is like a two-part question. And I know some of you are probably part of the high school already a little bit, but you'll be graduating 8th grade and then you go to high school. What are you a little nervous about going to high school? And what are you excited about going to high school and looking forward to? And then have you thought about life after high school? Are you thinking about going to college, the military? Maybe you have a career path that you're interested in, like medicine or something of that sort. So it's a two-part question. And Katie, we start with you once again.
I'm probably most excited for like the freedom of what classes to take more than we have now. I'm nervous about high school because for like the duration of this year, our teachers keep telling us like how much work high school is and how much harder it is, like and how much of a jump it is from 8th to 9th grade. So that's probably making me the most nervous. And then after high school, I would like to go to college, and I'm really passionate about sports, so I would love to play a sport in college. And then after that, I've wanted to be a teacher for a while, but now I keep finding myself more interested in interior design, so I might want to do that after college too.
Well, we're not going to hold you to anything that you say right now, Katie. You have 4 years to make that decision. Nicholas.
I think one thing in high school I'm nervous about is how many more kids there's going to be and how many more teachers. I think that's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit, especially at first, because like you're the freshman, so you're new there. I'm excited about choosing electives because for certain kids, it also may make them a little more excited for school. It's like, oh, the teachers are telling us you have to take this class and then this class. Like you kind of get to choose also what path you can take. I think after high school, go to college for something with film or movies because it's very interesting and it's all has to do with stories, which I love telling stories. So I think that's very interesting.
Okay, so Nicholas, next year when we do this, you'll be with us helping, right? Okay, Grace, what about you?
I'm really excited to widen my friend group a little bit and have a more variety of friends and people to talk to. And I mean, it is a little nerve-wracking to be in a bigger school and have so many other people, but I'm not really that nervous for it. I think it'll be a positive change. And I definitely do want to go to college, but I'm not really sure what I want to do. But, you know.
Okay, you don't have to. A lot of people can't make up their mind till they get to that time period. Megan, what about you?
I would say that I'm most nervous for like the increasing of difficulty in the classes, but I'm looking forward to all the opportunities. I think after high school, I want to go into culinary. Not sure what college though.
Okay, Emily, what about you?
In high school, I'm really looking forward to meeting new people, especially because I come from such a small district. There's not really any opportunity to meet like a lot of new people, but that can also be kind of like nerve-wracking and intimidating from going from such a small school to like a big high school. I'm also really looking forward to do sports in high school.
Okay, Lauren.
Sorry. I am excited to meet new people but I'm nervous about like learning a new school. And I think that's a very basic thing, but I am very nervous about it.
Okay, what do you think about doing after high school?
I definitely want to go to college, but I don't know what I want to do.
Okay, I was the same way. Maureen, what about you?
Okay. One of the most exciting things I'm excited for is like the independence we'll get and how many more classes we have. So we have like culinary and cosmetology, and I know now I have a lot of like classes with the same kids every time. And I know like next year I'll like kind of go into different friend groups, go into different classes. And then I'm kind of nervous for having to be in classes with older kids though, like sophomores and juniors. I do want to go to college, and I'm not really sure, but I was thinking about going to like teaching when I'm older.
Okay, great, great. I loved all your answers. I really enjoyed this conversation with all of you. I think your futures will be pretty bright. You're got good heads on your shoulders. And that brings us to the end of this conversation with eighth graders in Sussex County.